Dr. Mohanty, the story in the press is that TCS is very IP savvy compared to its counterparts. What do you think is the reason for that?
Professor Damodaran, thank you very much for asking this question that TCS is very IP savvy and what is the reason behind that. To share my thought process behind it, if you look at as an organization, we have designed our IO model, input output model, is how we generate idea from the people, from our ecosystem, and how we convert those ideas into offerings that we can take it to the market, to our customers who can consume for their business benefit and organizational benefit. So, when you do this ideation to offering, we had a very strong research and innovation footprint. And if you recall, TCS is the first software company in India which started its formal research unit as TRDDC in Pune in 1980s. And also beginning 2000, we also focused on building significant innovation capability, having a formal CTO office that is being run by Mr. K. Anantkrishnan. When we do this ideation to offering, we always believe that going through a systematic process is extremely important. How the idea that comes to the mind of the people and from the ecosystem, how we can focus on this and make it deeper and wider by bringing research capability to it. So, the very first aspect of ideation to offering is ideation to research. When you have a better holding of the subject area where your initial thought process emerged, then you see that what does it mean that if I take you to a customer and how it is going to solve a customer's problem, making customer more efficient, making customer more responsive, making customer more anticipative to its business need. And then that means that research throughput that comes out from that ideation, how we can create certain innovation footprints. And once you have your innovation footprints, then you know you have done something that market will be interested in. And then you create offerings which you take to the market. So, that is where TCS kept focusing on almost for its inception from 1968. One important thing that we realized towards 2008 and 9, that in this overall value chain of ideation to research, research to innovation and innovation to offering, we have a very strategic one missing link, that is what is the intellectual property. Because when you ask questions in 2008, 2009, that there are customers who are very excited about what we bring to them as a value, but what is our patent portfolio? What is our portfolio of publication in reputed journals? And we have so many people and so many intellectuals working for the organization and facing the problem day in, day out while solving customers' problem. So, that is where we felt that we have to have that missing block of innovation to IP creation before we put things forward into the offerings. And that is the very genesis where we established the intellectual property and product engineering group in 2010, and I have been entrusted to drive this initiative in supporting the research and innovation programs of TCS and supporting the business who creates offering to take it to the market. As a part of IP and product engineering, you may ask the question that why product engineering? Because once we create patents or copyrighted materials, those are intellectual capability, but you have to convert that intellectual capability to intellectual capital. And to convert that intellectual capability to intellectual capital, you must see that how it can be codified so that a customer can consume. And we as TCS are there to provide software and services around software to the customer. So, any ideation and research and innovation that we do, which we feel that it is going to add value to the customer, and hence created a framework or a products or a platforms or a solutions, we see that it is properly codified, properly engineered, so that it is safe for customer to use, it is simple for customer to use, it will be scalable and it will not be vulnerable, it is quite secured, and that is where we established this IP and product engineering group. And thus in summary is the genesis of why in the marketplace our differentiation is coming out.
Oh, very interesting. So, you do have an IP strategy as well, or is it a part of corporate strategy?
It is a very good question. Of course, it is a part of corporate strategy, and that is the first fundamental principle of any management study, that any initiative that you drive in the organization has to map to the business strategy. If it does not, then it is very difficult to sustain it on a long term. And in that principles, the IP strategy, or to that matter the research and innovation strategy, the products and platform strategy of TCS are very much aligned to the business strategy, the way we do the business planning in near term to mid term to the long term, how we want to play it out in the marketplace, how customer and our stakeholder sees the value that TCS is bringing in. So, in that way IP is fully aligned to the corporate business strategy, and hence it has its own derivative of how to strategize our IP program as we move forward.
If you look at your portfolio, what stands out? Patents or copyrights or designs? Which one stands out more?
If you look at our portfolio of IP today, what stands out is patents, because for last 6 years we have taken very conscious effort of building our patent portfolio.
And what about copyrights? What do you think?
Yes, we have deep focus on copyrights, and that deep focus on copyright is almost there for last more than 15 years, as we have the research and innovation labs all over, not only in India, but also in the world, and hence there are many reputed journals where our researchers and innovators, they continue to publish articles.
But as far as the computer codes are concerned, in India it is a requirement that you should go for a copyright protection.
When it comes to software,
non-embedded.
When it comes to software code, I mean, as you know that as soon as you write something of your own, be it a software code or be it a common literature, that is copyrighted. But you have to look at it, is there something that you are tangibly taking it to the market for customer to consume, and if so, again is it the textual materials or the software coding materials, then it is always better to have a registration of copyright in the territorial offices.
Which is what you do as well.
Which we do. That means anything that is associated with a software products, we ensure that we do the copyright of the product and the supporting materials, and we consciously ensure that the research throughput that we come up with should get published on the reputed journals worldwide, international journals.
But when you publish a research work of yours, and it is likely to turn into a product, because product engineering is very central to you, do you, for strategic reasons, feel that publishing is something which should go along with the product launch, or do you not bother too much about it?
Professor, it is a very good question. Everything that we do in the organization, in the whole gamut of IP, be it patents or copyrights or trademarks or trade secret, we put up a lot of thought behind it, and the IP asset that you are going to create around these patent, copyrights, trademarks, trade secrets, the IP asset, that is frameworks and solutions and products which a customer is going to consume. The approach is that as soon as an idea comes, and as we just discussed before, we focus on the idea to make it very mature through research and innovation throughput. Then we start looking at that how under that maturity, is it originality of expression that is coming out more, is it significant inventive or novelty that is coming out more, or it is more of a utility based innovation that is coming out more, and how strategically it is important to the market, and based on that we take a conscious decision that shall we keep it for trade secret for some time, do we need to brand it as something and hence a trademark filing is required, is there enough meat so that we can patent it, or it is only a copyrighted materials. Then if it is a copyrighted materials, fine, whether we will go ahead and do an external registration, or let us focus on the product, come up with a release and take it to the market, and then subsequently publish it on some international journals. So, it depends, because you can look at your copywriting activities as a marketing toolkit to help you in positioning. By the way, you take a new product to the market, if people knows that you are the prime author in bringing this idea to the market and is published on reputed international journals like an IEEE or computer magazines or HBR and etc., then that adds value. And as we all know, that very purpose of marketing and branding is to smoothen the market condition for you, so that the sales will have a field day. I mean, it's never sales have a field day, lighter side upward, it to smoothen the market condition for sales. So, in that way we take those kind of conscious decision that when to do what, so that what we believe is unique that we are bringing to the market will be well accepted by our market force and by our customers in the market.
That is interesting. What about valuation? Do you do valuation of your patents? Of course, trademarks, Tata Group does it, but what about patents, copyrights, designs, if you have any? Do you get them valued, or is it that you are only valuing your trademarks?
Valuation of IP is extremely important. It is a difficult problem, but it is extremely important. I will just give little perspective to that. Our overall IP strategy is based on three fundamental capabilities. How will we promote the first P? How will we promote the IP creation across the organization? It is not that who is doing research can only create IP, who is also in the field servicing a customer also has a better capability to create IP, because he is facing the music or she is facing the music. She understands what customer is facing as a challenge. So, she has the problem statement, and having a well defined problem statement itself is half the job done. Okay. So, that is where promotion is extremely important across the organization in any field that people are working. Then once we create those ideas and convert it to good solid research and innovation and IP materials, we immediately look at to see that how to protect it, and protect could be in terms of patents or copyrights or trademarks, and if it is patent, in which geography that we have to file the patent based on our business interest. So, that is the second P, the protection. The third P is profiting. Profiting not necessarily means in terms of cash, it could be either cash or in kinds. That what kind of impact that we are going to create by having this intellectual property, impact in terms of economy, impact in terms of technological advancement, impact in terms of societal benefit that society is going to get. So, on all the three aspects, that promoting, protecting and profiting, we build the capabilities. So, for that profiting, I mean ultimately we may take a solution or a products or a framework to the market with a price point attached to it, directly or indirectly. So, what is the value on which we will make the decision, or to behind it the patents and copyrighted materials that is supporting it, what is the valuation of that. So, we do those valuation too, and more importantly when we thought of this valuation 7 years back, we looked at the market literature in terms of cost based model, cost plus model, market based model. We looked at many such models. We felt that there is a gap in evaluating the valuation of an IP, and especially when you take a valuation software to the market and how to price it right. And we ourselves created a software IPR valuation model. In fact, we have filed a patent on the software IPR valuation model, and it is going to get published on our software IPR valuation model. There will be an article that is going to get published in the September 2017 issue in Les Nouvelles of the Licensing Executive Society International. The September issue will have our publication.
This is a very significant contribution. You are taking an IP on IP, which is very interesting.
In fact, Professor, you will be happy to know, when we established this group, intellectual property group, we said that we are infant, we are taking birth, we will consciously look at the market and the daddies and the big daddies, we will listen to them, we will learn from them, but we will chart our own course. And in that way, we have a overall IP management program in place. We have published an article in the Intellectual Asset Management Journal in January 2016, talking about how an enterprise has to manage its patent portfolio. We have published an article. We have also published an article in the Intellectual Asset Management in this July 2017, collaborative invention mining. We talk about collaborative research, collaborative innovations. So, how you can collaborate to quickly mature your idea towards a formal patent. That collaborative invention mining, we have come up with a model, which also we have published an article in Intellectual Asset Management, as I mentioned in this July 2017. You will be also very happy to know that how as an organization has to manage its IP portfolio. We have filed a patent, of course, in India for sure and in the US, and our US patent got granted on this April 25, 2017. So, that as an enterprise, how an enterprise has to manage its patent portfolio, we have a patent for that, granted patent from US.
This is a very significant step that you have taken in relation to acquisitions that Tata's do of various companies. Do you think IP is an important consideration?
It is a good question. Whenever you look for an acquisition, of course, there are many dimensions to it, and intellectual property is a key dimension. If you go and acquire a product company, then you look at what is the standing of that product in the market in terms of the current business, right, and the customer base, and the track record over last n number of years, plus what are its patent portfolio, and is there any patents getting litigated or not. You have to look at those things and those patent portfolio in which geography. So, those are the things that you need to look at it, and yes, it is an important aspect of consideration when you look forward to acquisition.
How does your division, which deals with IP and product engineering, feed into the boardroom? In what way does it provide inputs to the boardroom?
So, this is also a very pertinent question. Today, as an organization, if anything that we have to invest, we definitely have to take board into confidence. Anything that we believe that there is a risk and risk has to be managed, again the board has to be taken into confidence. If you look at the IP of an organization, it is a double-edged sword, a sword that is in front of your nose. One side is towards your nose and outside is facing the open market. It depends how you play it well. If you play it well, you can keep on conquering the world, and if you can't, then it may hit your nose itself and you may have a bloody bath. So, it is extremely important to take board into the confidence that the areas or the portfolios where we have to create IP, and in that areas or the portfolios how the landscape is looking, that why the market is investing on that area or why the market is not investing in that area, and why you want to make a decision to invest. So, we have a saying telling that there is nothing called if there is a white space, go there, and there is nothing called if there is a crowded space, do not go there. So, this is a 2 by 2 matrix, white space, crowded space, go there, not go there. You might decide your strategy. If it is a crowded space, market needs it, there is some money is flowing. If you can come up with some difference, you can also make some money, and hence there is a reason to go there, and there might be a reason not to go there, because yes, market knows these things, why you will be there. Similarly, if it is a white space, immediate attraction is to go there, but you have to ask a question. You are not the only intelligent and smart guy, there are so many intelligent and smart guys. What is the guarantee that you have thought last night, which you are the first person in the world that you have thought? May not be. If somebody else has thought, then why he decided not to go? Is there any risk there? So, when you deliberate and debate like that, then you will come down to a 2 by 2 matrix, telling that be it white space or a crowded space, whether I should go or I should not go in this 2 by 2 matrix, how I will play around, portfolio by portfolio, portfolio by portfolio, and in this playing field, whom I have to partner with and for what purpose. And that is where, while not only it is a boardroom discussion to take board into the confidence, the risk and the reward part of your investment, also you have to take board into the confidence in telling that we have a partner ecosystem through which we will be working upon in ensuring that we operate with a right speed in attracting the talent in the marketplace and taking something to the market quickly as fast as possible with right capability. And that is where Professor Damodaran, you must have noticed that TCS promote a word called COIN, Collaborative Open Innovation Network, and that is our CTO Anand Krishnan drives, and we have close partnership with many organizations and institutions in India and outside India, academics, our customers and our other technology partners and startups.
What do you feel about the recent initiatives of the Government of India? For instance, TCS feeds into the other branches of the Tatas, especially in the manufacturing segment. There are a lot of contributions that you give. And Tata Group plays a very big role in terms of its commitment to make in India through joint ventures with leading companies, especially in the strategic industries, defense industry and all that. How do you think the Tata Group in general, in relation to IP, of course?
Absolutely. Yeah. Sure, Professor Damodaran. My knowledge with respect to Tata Group is very limited. So, let me focus on TCS point of view, where I can share a lot of valuable input. We believe that it's a right point of inflection in India with the drive like Make in India, Digital India, Startup India is very important and pertinent, especially as a policy maker. The Department of Industrial Promotion and Policy, the Indian Patent Offices, the drive that they have made in promoting startups, in encouraging startup to file patents, to come truly as a differentiating product and capability in the marketplace, encouraging whether the startups or small, medium, large enterprises to file more and more patents, modernizing the entire patent capability, right, in terms of process simplification, in terms of capability development and in terms of integrated digitization. So, that the current backlog of 5-6 years of pendency, especially with respect to patent granting, will over a period of time will get reduced, and that is where the Controller General and the policy makers are continuously giving that confidence to all of us that by end of 2018 pendency will come down significantly, right, and as a part of capability building they have definitely hired significant number of patent examiners. So, the right ecosystem is getting created from policy point of view and building capability point of view, and there is a deep interest, be it large enterprise like TCS or small medium enterprises or the startup, to create IP, to truly differentiate ourselves with respect to what we bring into the market, Indian market and global market. If you come to Indian market, definitely we started seeing and will see significant productivity gain in terms of agricultural products in case of healthcare and healthcare delivery across length and breadth of the country, and education for all. So, these are the areas I believe will see the great impact: the food and agriculture, the healthcare and the education.
One final question. Tata's especially and TCS in particular operates in different countries of the world. How many initiatives you have taken to go for like PCT or Madrid Protocol registrations, especially in relation to your patents? How many of them have gone through the PCT route? How many of them have gone through the non-PCT route? Broadly, talking of numbers particularly, but
again my answer will be primarily from TCS, Tata Consultancy Service perspective. Of course, since I am heading the intellectual property, I am the right person to answer it. We do a careful evaluation of which patent that will go through the PCT route and which patent that will file on different territory. Definitely, as soon as we make a decision to file a patent, more or less we decide to file a patent in India and in US, and we make a very serious analysis of filing it in European Patent Office. And then other geographies, other territories based on a specific to that patent and the portfolio it belongs to and our business interest in that market at this point and what we foresee for next 3 to 5 years, we make a judgmental call. So, in that way, to answer your question, around 5% of our patents that we file, we do through PCT route at this point of time. Rest 95% we go for fast filing and then quickly make a decision what could be the family filing. More or less US is for sure, more or less, and most likely 5-6 out of 10 times, yes, European patent filing is also for sure.
The aspect of risks in PCT or international filings has been a problem with the TCS, or you do not think risk means, I mean infringement possibilities? Infringement means the risk of being mentioned as an infringer.
Our thought on that line, we do not think that that is a major concern, but our decision of not proactively moving significant number of our patent to PCT route is that are we making a decision to file our patent in more than 5, 6, 7 territories. If the answer is yes, then we could take a PCT route.
So, risk is not a factor.
Yeah. So, if the answer is probably we will focus on 3 to 4 territories and we are pretty clear about that, and then and hence you have to manage your.
It's a critical mass that you look for before you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mohanty. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for your time, and I enjoyed our interaction.
Thanks a lot. Thanks much.